Cool.
We have sound.
So hopefully we have sound. We ready?
Yep.
Do we have sound?
Yes.
All right,
Can you
let's
hear me?
do this. Yep. You're really quiet though.
Really quiet?
Yeah, that was better. Hey, Robert. Hang on, here we go. It started with an idea, and from there we chose the colors, and after that we worked out a pattern, and then Mandy made a very, very cool kumi for each one of the loops for this bag. And seriously, how cool are those? From there, we had on our first stream, we put together these 4 diamonds so that way we could get the bag started. After that, the second stream, we joined them together and got it this far. And now all we have to do is join those 2 ends together to turn it into a cylinder. And from there, we're just going to try to see just how far we can get with making this bag. So let's roll that intro. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AKAAWOL, and I am pretty excited about what we got going on here tonight. So we're going to be making some cool stuff, but before we get into that, I want to remind everybody we still have the secret word game where all you have to do is chat and say the magic word, and boom, you get these 2 bracelets. One was made by me and the other was made by Minute Craft. And tonight I am joined by my lovely wife Mandy. And yeah, we are going to turn this thing into a cylinder here tonight. It is a little bit like a TV show, isn't it? I think. Yeah, little recap stuff. Yeah. Okay. So to make this a cylinder, first thing we have to do is we have to turn it around backwards. And then we're going to got this little piece. It was kind of cut off from a cutting board. We're going to put that in between so that way we don't confuse the strings. And then we're going to use a couple clips here. And we're going to use 2 clips because it kind of allows me to kind of shift and move things around and get it lined up just perfect. So that way it's really nice and like just awesome. I don't know, get kind of particular about these things. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these strings that are in the back and I'm just going to shift them way off to the side because we won't be using those anytime too soon. So there you go. All right. Hello, everybody. Sorry, a little bit manic coming into this. There's a weird thing going on with the sound. I don't even know if the sound is matching up with my speech, but the sound bar that moves when I talk is not matching up with my speech, and it's really throwing me off. I'm used to being able to look at that and see if I'm loud enough and that kind of stuff, and like that's just crazy. Yeah. I've chopped up a few of these things for various reasons. So yes, no, not exactly self-healing. But the pieces that I reuse again and again and again and again. So, you know, yay. The butcher. Nice. So everybody's going to have to forgive me for a second while I go and talk to our lovely friend Rainbow over here. She's been kind of MIA for a good portion of the week, and I believe that had something to do with her being really super, super busy at work. But she might look back at a message I sent her a few days ago. I think it was on Wednesday. That she has a package coming from Singapore going over to her humble abode. I'm not going to call out where she lives or anything because that's not cool. But it's headed her way. And the funny thing about this is this package would have been sent probably almost a year ago. I had these great high hopes. And again, I'm not going to use names because, you know, I think there's can be stalkers and stuff out there. But I tried to get Rainbow to connect me with her dude, right? And like, hey, you know, I like some of the games he plays. You should connect me on Discord so you know I can talk to him and stuff. And I tried all kinds of various methods to convince her to let me and the dude talk because the whole plan was I get a hold of the dude and be like, dude, I got this package. I want to send it over there. I want it to be a total surprise. Maybe we can send it over to like your mate's place and then she won't ever know that it's coming. And then you can like kind of spring it on her and we can have like cool videos of like her getting all excited. And so like had all this great plans of grandeur and stuff. And she wouldn't go for it. She was just like, nope, my dude, I'm not sharing, never going to happen. And so, like, with a year of trying, I finally just gave up and, like, fine, I'm just sending the damn package. Like, just, so yeah. So now the package is out there in the wild, could be there, who knows, anytime. It could be a week, it could be a month. It's really weird with the postal services. I can never tell. Um, yeah, but you never once connected the whole like have him sign into the Discord or nothing. Like I tried. God knows I tried. That was so funny. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Super funny, super crazy. Um Still
It
wouldn't
was so
mind a
long
reaction
ago.
video when you it was.
It
Oh
was,
my God.
it was so
Like
long ago that
when you think back to all those conversations.
when we actually put it together to mail out, I didn't even like connect the two. Like, why are you sending her this?
Yeah. Yeah, this has been going on for so long. Like it is such a yeah. So, anyways, it's on its way, and you can see it in the message. I actually took a photo of the package itself, and you can like see all that. Mind you, I I was very clever, and I did the little thing to make it so that way you can't see the description, because you know I'm clever like that. But yeah, so that's on its way. Something to look forward to. It's like Christmas, but at the wrong time of year. Speaking of Christmas at the wrong time of year, check that bad boy out. That's my Christmas ornament that I just got done making. I had put together a whole tutorials and how I did the patterns and how I did the all the stuff. And yeah, so that's available for anybody who wants to join my YouTube members because all the videos that are already all created are available to the members. And there is our latest member, Minute Craft. Hello and help. She's made it. That's awesome. She is our actual newest YouTube member, which means I have to add her to the scrolling thing. Well, anybody who's, you know, making cool ornaments. Oh, and Rainbow's got stuff coming her way, so yeah. She's got a Christmassy ish thing happening. So yeah, way cool stuff. Lots and lots of stuff going on. Yeah, even when the before the whole stream started, there was actually like welcome, minute craft to the naughty kids. Mind you, there's eventually, I suppose it's supposed to be where there's like different layers of like potential memberships and stuff. I don't know that we're necessarily going to have a higher tier. I can't even figure out like what else could I possibly do. I'm already doing videos basically, like live streaming almost daily, like 4 or 5 days a week, something like that. So yeah, I don't know what else I would possibly add to all of that. Yeah, I just recently got hit with something that really made me feel less kid-ish. Um, I was listening to music uh, down in the city, and I had put in a song request, and they were like, "Wait, who? This is what? Uh, by Three Dog Night? Never heard of them." And that just like, oh, dying. Yeah, I wanted old fashioned. It was Valentine's Day, and I thought old fashioned love song would be like this really cool thing, for a Valentine's Day song because it's not super complicated, and buskers could potentially they'd never heard of the band even, let alone the song. Yeah, so I replied to them, you kids, and they're like, "Oh, you're a kid too." I'm like, I don't feel like a kid when you guys don't even know the band. Hey, and Rara made it. Wow, we got the whole gang coming in here tonight. This is awesome. So as you guys can see, this connection thing here is just building and building, and it's really not that much different than anything we were doing last week when we just joined the other three loops. It's really the same kind of thing. The only big difference is the strings in the back can really kind of mess with you and kind of make it difficult to know which direction anything is going in. So, yeah, I mean, not bad. Yeah, sometimes I think nine is kind of giving me more credit than I just Wednesday while out, and mind you, I was inspired to this. I ended up buying these Lego kit things um that are like they're Chinese Lego kits. And not that there's anything wrong with that, except for the weird thing is all the pieces are really little and the stupid instructions are like they had to fit a ton of stuff and they just made this little teeny tiny book. So like I have to put on my glasses so I can see the shapes and see what the heck I'm working on. And there's just like hundreds of little teeny fiddly bits. I have to admit, I love it. I'm having so much fun. Mandy and I have been working on these things together, and it's been awesome. So yeah, and it was all my Newt Craft's fault because my Newt Craft had bought one of these things first, and then I was like, oh, bet I need to get one of those. And then I saw they had more. So I picked up a couple of them. And now I want to go back and get the red one because I like the red one better than this orange one. And I found that I have a partner in crime for building these things. So I have a magnifying. It's not, well, yeah, no, it does do a lamp. It sits on the desk and it's not, yeah, no, it works fine. It's doing the thing. Yes, I have one. Thank you. I forgot that it has batteries and it can do the lamp thing. I We were doing it in the daytime out at the dining table where there's plenty of light, so didn't have to turn on the little light function. But oh, oh, we gotta undo half a knot. Is that so? Wait, if we only have to do half of a knot, is that like half a shot? What do you guys? I don't know what the ruling is on the your guys' game over there, but this is oh, this is going to be the pattern that potentially could be like alcohol poisoning if you guys do invoke drinking because of mistakes. This pattern's so hard. Yes, I have a tutorial where I explore 6 different loops and kind of talk about why I think some are better than others as far as like difficulty and lasting and all that kind of stuff. Perhaps Mandy can throw a link to that. I don't I don't remember what the video is necessarily called. I try to come up with like creative names and that's where everything goes south for me. Like I can't remember what it was. I am still struggling to kind of catch up on videos and stuff. Mind you, remember we were gone at the end of January, so my head start that I had on any videos is kind of gone. And so ideally I would really like to get kind of caught back up on everything. So yeah, I can't just play Legos all week as much as I would like to. Yeah, we're gonna be way off subject. I just between ADHD and just general excitement and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of par for the course, isn't it? Oh, and later this week I have a dreaded video, like one that I've been meaning to do, but like, the whole get yourself like, okay, I can do this. Yeah, that it's coming up, and I think I'll be working on it this week, and yeah, not super excited about it, but whatever. It's one of those needs doing. Probably people will like it. That doesn't happen a whole lot. Usually I'm like super excited about everything I make. Not this week. So basically, I'm looking at the same pattern that you guys can look at over on my website. If you go to the tutorials page, I've actually pinned this particular project at the top so you can actually take a look at it. It's the ethnic pattern bag number 1, which implies that there's going to be more, which yes, there will be. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think they get progressively more difficult. I'm not exactly sure, like, at what rate that happens. I just know that it's going to happen. I know there's more difficult stuff on the way, so. In fact, I'm actually bracing myself for this and working out things like how I can share the patterns and stuff with you guys at the same time, and where I can do things like if I have to actually cross off areas that I've accomplished, letting you being able to see how that works. So yeah, that I don't right. Yeah. However, um, I don't know if you know this. My webpage has been around since like 2000, 2001, and that smiley face, that yellow smiley face, has been there since the beginning. Like since I learned how people put their little logos up at the top for the web pages, like I wanted one, and I tried to come up what would be cool, and it ended up being a smiley face. So yeah, little little AKAAWOL lore for you. Mind you, back then I was working uh, as a help desk technician, and as a result, I was around a lot of very geeky, fun people who we were all discovering some of the coolest websites and stuff out there. And so my webpage back then was all about links to some of the most fun things that we had discovered. Like I remember like I was really enthralled by this one thing where you basically drew something, and then it got animated, and so your little squiggly thing, you know, the computer tried to figure out how would this thing walk, how would this thing get around. And it was some of the weirdest stuff, man. It was um yeah, it was pretty crazy thing. So like I was sharing fun stuff like that. This is back when like we had websites like GeoCities. Oh my God, GeoCities was so fun. And because we knew HTML, like ours were like super advanced and stuff. Yeah, it was the the Wild West days of the internet. Back when we were amused by frogs in a blender, little flash art thing. Oh, I can't remember who the Cartoon Joe, cartoon something. Yeah, something like that. He had all the flash art. Oh man, the frog would like swear at you and stuff. It was hilarious. Yeah, I didn't necessarily memorize quite everything, but then I would know where I had used things so I could like go back because I am all about copy paste. So if I used a bit of code earlier previously, then I would go ahead and grab that up and do it again. Heck, I have my own for all the tools that I use on the regular. I have a web page that's like locally, it's on my machine, just written in Notepad that has the links to everything. It has I can name some of these things. It has for under work, I have things to my website, to Google Keep, to Gmail, to the calendar, um, my editor, studio, AdSense, like just anything that was kind of work. Patreon, it's all links to everything that I would possibly need is right there. Um, in fact, I actually have a second row that's actually dedicated to work with documents that I use on the regular, um, stuff like that. And then I have social links. I have links to things like Disney and Prime Video. And oh, there's actually a link to a web page that gives me HTML codes. Um, so yeah, yeah, it just makes my life easier because instead of a drop down menu with my regular bookmarks, I have a page where I kind of grown used to where everything is. Plus, most of them have images of whatever kind, like just little things I either copied or created to make it more visual so I can just see it and go right to whatever I'm looking for. That's a little bit weird, but it really works for me really, really well. Because I'm all about like, if you do stuff on the regular, you should make it easier and whatever it takes. So that's one of the things I do. And it's like a table that's like four things wide and like it gets added onto anytime I need to add rows to fit more stuff on there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly my thing. All right, so this one went this way. That means this goes this way. Yeah, and I'm sure like some people work on various other like they don't need visual triggers to help remind them to which thing they're going to. Because for me, a lot of times too, like I'll have a notion like, oh, I have to fix the link in the bio, which is if you're in Instagram and you're interested in one of the bracelets and stuff that I made, you can go to like the profile part of my thing, and there's a link, and you click on that, and you'll see all of different pictures, and then you can click on whichever picture, and it will take you to the web page or to a video or whatever there is for that particular thing, right? So I may remember, oh no, I need to do that, And if I had to like look in bookmarks and read all the things, for every single thing that I read is making it harder for me to remember why I came there in the first place. And I will suddenly freak out and like, wait, what was I doing? And yeah, so if I can just kind of look at the big pile of stuff and be like, that's the one, and click on it, then I get to the website, and then I'm on my way, and I can go get the thing done. So it's I don't know. Is our Okay, so in my shortcuts, that's one of the things that's in there. Let's go see what's up with that. Is it not? Yeah, because the thing over here does not show that I'm connected. Why is it not connected? I don't know what happens if I click on any of this stuff, but oh, that didn't hurt anything. Oh, but it locked it to what the heck is this? That's weird. Um, ooh, that's okay. I see what these are. Um, okay. I still can't turn the bot on. I don't know what happened. I know. So normally when I'm on a live stream, the icon on the other thing over here would turn to like a red circle to indicate that it's actually happening. Okay, so it's sort of connected. It can do that. That's so weird. I don't understand what's happening, guys. And I kind of feel like there's a way of like chatting with them to say, hey, something's not working. But I don't think I can do that actually while I'm actually working. So I don't see how that's actually even feasible. And I don't get to test this thing on a regular weekdays because it won't connect when with the other streams. So the other streams I do are like for members only. So not that you have the jacket with the okay, I am old. Um, but yeah. I wonder if okay, wait. Oh, so the live help is via Discord and it somehow said that the invite was invalid. That makes it even more complicated. Yeah, right. Or it freaked out when it saw me eating chocolate robots. Yeah, I think they're large language models. I think that's what that's called, LLMs. So now I'm going to have to rely on Mandy to police the chat to see if we end up with somebody who actually says the secret word because we can't rely on the bot. Yeah. Well, I think it's always been artificial intelligence because there has been no actual real intelligence. It's just a guy who knows how to tie knots. But on the bright side, I'm pretty good at it. I wonder. Wait, I wonder if I log out of Stream Elements and log back in, would that do it? Should we try? What's how bad can it be, right? Ooh, it really did not respond well to that. I have no idea what you guys can see, but my screen just got really, really weird. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I can't see the screen anymore and the login thing. Why does that not open? Ah, there it goes. Authenticating. Hopefully you guys aren't seeing this because it's like being really, really weird. Login
No,
successful. Whoa.
completely.
Oh, but my whole whoa, things got super weird over here. What the heck is this? my whole... Oh, there we go. I can shrink it down again. Okay. It still doesn't have the little red circle, though. That's a little disappointing. I thought that was going to do the thing. It went a little bit crazy, though. I have to admit. Like, that got downright weird. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out how friendship bracelets could be used for evil. Where's Phil when we need him? Seriously. He would be able to figure this out. We all do. We've been shooting him messages telling him, that we're concerned, and we still don't know what's going on. The the one of the biggest problems about knowing what's going on with Phil is I don't know any like mutual friends to be able to um hit somebody up to be like, is he in trouble? Is he sick? Is he anything? So yeah. Oh, I think it actually shows that we are live. I think they changed how it used to be a circle, but now if you click on the icon, it actually shows that it's live. Wait, it allowed me to do a link. Honey, check out the link I just sent you. So I don't know what that does, but I think it says it's full control over the bot, I think, over something. I don't know what it does.
You can't apparently send me an invitation to a channel that you own. Like
Right.
it says the bot is in your
So
chat.
there was bot super. So there was bot supervisor. These were the different roles. There was bot supervisor. There was an editor, and then there was full control. And I gave you full control. So I don't understand what it's doing. It doesn't make sense. It's I do know that they tried to add some extra features and stuff, and it's possible whenever whatever they added broke something. Yeah, ear things in your leggings. I just well, catching up on the chat and I'm confused. So you don't know. So the mystery is afoot. Nice. Way to sock it to him. I love how our live feeds just get completely off course. Yeah, I can't figure out why the bot isn't botting. I can obviously hit things to make. Oh yeah, they definitely added way more stuff. I don't. Oh, I just discovered a button I didn't know I had. There was a thing where I could actually make the bot leave the chat, and then it did a sad face, and then I was able to tell it to go back to join, and it's like the bot is in your chat. So try something? I don't know. Because according to this, it just joined. Try one of the other triggers like web page or whatever, email or I don't know, those things. Yeah, that. Wait, does that go? Yeah, so none of the triggers are triggering. No, say the secret word so we can get this over with. I'll hit the celebrate button myself. I think I know where it is. I think it's right there. Ooh, I hate when that happens. So one of the things that I'm doing with this bag that you may not have picked up on is anytime the string can just go straight, that's the direction it's going in. I'm not necessarily using zigzag knots anywhere unless I need to. And there are times where it totally has to happen. Like every time the light pink comes over and makes contact with this darker pink, it has to happen. But a lot of the dark reds, they just kind of run off in either direction, so that's not necessary. And part of that is some patterns will tend to use some strings a lot more than others, and I'm trying to let them kind of naturally go whichever way that it does, because that tends to allow it to not use up one string much quicker than another. It's not always the case that it solves it, and it's not always the case. But yeah, it's just something I'm doing here. And now I have the song in my ears that makes me think of our calendar year. 2020, 24 hours to go. I want to be sedated. Guess that's fine. All right, so we finally have it completely joined, and now we have to kind of rotate it around a bit to get to another area to work on. So this looks pretty good right here. So I'm going to take basically the strings that we're going to work with. Doesn't go past that, so this is fine. Take all the other strings that are in the back. Once again, move them off to the side where they're not getting in my way. I'm just using a basic, simple clip like this. They're kind of pretty is all. If this was something where I had to move it around a lot, I would probably use one of these. This great big bulldog clip is great because it's just really kind of, it's strong, but it's easy to open and close and get to, you know, changing it up as needed. So, yeah. Are you okay? Wait, I wonder if I don't remember if I have this completely hooked up or oh, but the sound effects. I didn't anticipate that. Sorry, guys. Ouch. Yeah, that happens sometimes. So I thought I had that thing fixed. So yeah, that piece is eventually going to be. I thought actually, I, to be honest, I thought when I went to that one because it was marked or whatever was going to be the one that is going to be in our future videos where it's actually like my camera, then Mandy Cam, and then right below that will be where I have the pattern sitting, which is kind of how it's set up right now, except for I just don't have it all completely wired together just yet. I've been trying to figure out like how to do these things, so yeah. Yeah, individually they're not so bad, but man, when they all blast at once, man, it's just like ah. Yeah, I hate it. And I don't use the sound effects that often. I have the applause and stuff, or like when somebody goes and wins the the secret word game. All right, so this one went that way. So this one. So on projects like this, where I end up having to actually look at the pattern a lot more, definitely takes up a lot more time than the patterns where I just instinctively can go at it. So, um, yeah, just something to consider if you're feeling like, wow, I'm not doing as well, or something is whatever. It might be just the pattern is a little bit more difficult. You have to work a little harder to make it happen. It's totally normal. Okay, so now we need to have like the whole where Mandy's eyes are rolling extra hard and say silly things that gets kind of crazy and minute craft will just have to use her imagination to guess what we're all laughing at. Wait, she won't know that everybody else is laughing. We'll have to we'll have to read the comments to her too. Or be vague about it, like, oh, yes, very interesting point you made there, Rainbow. I do wonder about that.
Evil.
Phil would be so proud. I definitely encourage watching reruns of our live streams and videos. Um, Helps with what things like watch hours and stuff, which I'm not even sure that still matters at all, but it can't hurt. I did see one YouTuber had a monetized channel and lost the monetization, but that was because he deleted some of the videos, which caused his watch hours to drop. but like he was trying to like weed out ones that he didn't like anymore or whatever. I don't know how, like what happened, but he killed one of his channels. So now that we're kind of all joined up and whatever, it looks like the actual progression part here isn't going to be so bad. It's just going to be a case of making sure that I get the little spirally things in the right directions, which I have to admit have me super like concerned. Yeah, if you okay, so I know that back when I was trying to do videos just for the Patreon members, that because those were privatized, the watch hours didn't count. Don't ask me why. I don't understand, but they didn't. Oh, I just discovered something. This goes all the way down. That means the one on the other side did too. All right. But yeah. Yeah, so the channel I'm talking about was it's Roomy Official, and it was his clips channel. Like it was meant to be like shorter versions or rantings as opposed to the other one. He's having a lot of trouble because basically he's a musician or very music knowledgeable. And so a lot of his stuff was about um, like kind of reviewing things that other artists, musicians and stuff did. And so pretty much most of his videos get claimed, you know, the whole copyright thing. So they don't like make him take it down, but they get anything, any kind of earnings that there would be, they get them. So it's kind of unfortunate for him, but yeah. Yeah, Rui Official's kind of fun. His videos, he's really knowledgeable when it comes to music and things, and he's a fun individual.
I just came across an ad for Mandarin for Adults Beginner Level 1 at our community club. Would you like to sign up?
The thought of trying to learn Mandarin just scares the heck out of me. You know, I would almost do it if I could basically stream from the classroom and like let people watch me in the whole process and stuff. Like if I could turn it into a thing for the channel, I would definitely I would probably do that just because it would be hilarious. Like because I already know the teacher's going to say it and then I'll say it and like no, and then they'll say it and then I'll try to say it no, and that will go endlessly. Which you know, okay, I would think that's hilarious. I can see where other people might not. But I can imagine that they would be. I'm sure it would actually help me in a lot of things. It would help me because I am very capo, and if there is a conversation and I can understand what's going on, I'm yeah, that would yeah. Yeah, except for you don't like I can tell it's a heated argument, you know, the guy and the girl are definitely having a quarrel and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this has got to be juicy." And I ask my wife, "Wait, what were they talking about?" "What? Who? Huh? I don't know." My
That's because I'm
ADHD
not
like
capable like you.
tunes into everything around me. Yeah. Like I've thought about getting the the Google um earbud things because supposedly they translate in like almost real time. Like, ooh. Heck, we go to get pedicures done. Mandy ends up talking to the gals like for the better part of the whole our whole visit. And I'll be just sitting there not having a clue about what's going on unless, you know, the girls are like turn to me like, "Oh," and point at me. I'm like, "Wait, what? What did she say? What? Wait." Arr.
That's why you should learn.
I am really not good at school. I like just the thought of like a classroom environment just scares the heck out of me. The last time I did an adult school thing was for computers, and I thought we were going to learn like really useful computer things. That was not the case. They she basically made it so bad it was almost like how to do like word processing or something. It was super not helpful. Um, and yeah, I tormented that teacher because I could do all kinds of things that they didn't know. So yeah, yeah. I have to admit, like it is. You know, I can say ni hao, and everybody kind of gets smiles, and that's nice. Well, pretty much all the languages that Mandy knows is always about the food. Like, you know, the Cantonese, yeah, that's about food. Yeah. Even if I got even remotely proficient with the language, she'd still know other words to be able to do that with. So like it's not like I learned the language a bit and I automatically she'll just switch to Hokkien or something and I'll be like "Grr," back to the whole square one. Oh yeah. There's yes, that's 100%. There are times when I have tried to communicate with people and it's just not happening. They don't get it. Especially, especially, and this is true, if you speak English the way I speak English, where we use the whole, like all the words for the sentence. Like Mandy can do English where she minimalizes the number of words used, and then suddenly they get that. I don't know how to condense the English down so far. It just doesn't, that doesn't come natural to me at all. And you turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about. Well, a great example, like, and they, when I pointed this out, the person who used to use it the most denied that that was ever a thing that they say. But I used to kill me because things would be reduced down to no want. Like, that's the most efficient sentence ever. Hey, we're going to go have lunch at such and such, and, you're invited to come along if you're interested. No want. So efficient.
If you know, the most efficient sentence in Singlish is can.
I can I can give you another interesting one. Doesn't get much more Singaporean than this. I took a boat over to what's the island? Take the $12 boat. Uh, we biked right around it and stuff. What's the island over there?
Ubin?
Ubin, Palubin. So I take and I go over there and I've got camera and stuff and I'm just exploring. I'm on foot, wandering around this little island, and it's very natural over there. There's not a lot of buildings, not a handful of cars at best. And as I'm wandering around, I noticed what I thought to be maybe fiddler crabs, and there happened to be a Singaporean guy nearby, and I asked him if he knew what, and I don't know if you know what a fiddler crab is. They're really small. They're like, maybe this big, and the males have one really big claw and one small one. They eat with the small one, and the big one they wave around. It's defense. It's for courting. The women, crabs like guys with bigger claws and stuff. And I thought this is pretty neat. What? Hey, what is this? And the dude turns to me and says, "No good, can't eat." The most Singaporean thing ever. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's coming. There's going to be a request. I can feel it in the air. The her brain waves are there. There's a thing that Mandy likes the way I pronounce it. I hate saying it now because I've become super self-conscious because I feel like I must not be doing it right because there's the giggles. See, look at the giggles are happening already. I haven't even said the word. La Passant. Yeah, I just said it. I have a feeling like you guys could end up, yeah, you guys could end up like making video shorts out of me trying to pronounce things. Like I take the class, I come back and I try to, yeah, look, see, oh, so Mandy has a TikTok. I don't know if any of you guys have actually seen her TikTok, but apparently, um, one of those videos has been viewed thousands of times, and it's me being stupid, which of course came very easily and natural, of course.
I literally only have 12 TikToks. I don't post really, except when something really hits.
Right.
And my very first TikTok has 39.4 thousand views.
And it's me at a hotel. I knew what I was doing was going to be silly. I knew that. Um, did not expect it to be that level of what I don't. My TikToks don't even like have those kind of numbers. No, it's the one where um, I drag the curtains back and then I get it to the end and then I come back the other way and yeah. Uh-oh, this can't be right. Wait, what did I do wrong? This is going. Um, right, guys. See, I got messed up with the La Passant thing. All right, I'm not even 100% sure how much I have to take out. This should have come this way, this one this way. All right. So I have to admit, there is a part of me that is genuinely curious what it would be like to try to learn a language. Um, I know that there's an app that has a thing where like it tries to teach you a word and then you say it and like it will rate how well you're saying it. I wonder if that would make more sense because then for sure I could play around with it here at home and do it on the live stream and make it entertaining and stuff. Um, I don't remember what it's called. The app. I don't remember what the app is called. But that might be fun. Yeah, maybe that's it. That sounds right. No, I think I think the one that is coming to my mind might be the Duolingo. Um, I think Babbel is if well, Babbel had to do with Babelfish, which was the whole thing from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I think that's just like a translator thing, or at least that's what it started as. Yeah, I don't know. All these things can change. All right. But yeah, at least then I could, it could be a stream thing. People can subscribe and watch me try to talk to a computer. I actually, our helper, I was telling her that, honestly, if she was to put in Copilot or one of these other AI ish things, she could use that for practicing English because the fact that, you know, those things were made in America, um, you have to speak a pretty good English for it to recognize what the heck you're saying. And so, yeah, that might help her to actually see if, she's getting the stuff right. Hola. Yeah, I trying to memorize too much too quickly. I can totally see where that could be a thing. Um, yeah, see, I don't think I could. I think I could watch all the anime in the world and I would never learn Japanese. Like that's just not, even with the captions on and stuff, I wouldn't be able to put together where what word got used. Nice. I heard that Robin Williams, um, they had to, for Mork and Mindy, they had to hire like five different people because of the different languages that he knew, because he was trying to slip like swear words in other languages or cussing or whatever else. And yeah, like that was a problem for them on the set because he would think he's funny and slip in a little something, and yeah, that's awesome. That's funny as heck. That reminds me of the father that charged in on his son and spoke to him in Klingon, and um, the son didn't know which was worse, that he knew what his father had said or that he had brought dishonor to the house. So overall, I would say this is still a relatively, even with the mistakes and the trouble with the patterns and stuff, I would still say this is a easier project than potentially some can be. So, obviously this is not, we're no longer in the beginner stuff. This is for people who want a bit more of a challenge, want to try having a pattern that will keep them on their toes. So how expensive is the Duolingo thing? Out of stupid curiosity. More here. See now that rah that sounds a lot like me. Like my biggest concern with when my son was going to school was that if he swore in the classroom, my concern wouldn't be that he was swearing. My concern would be, did he use the word properly? You know? Yeah. Oh man. I saw a cartoon here recently and I didn't realize how much it would bother me, but the joke was the person was the worst at swearing and they used all the wrong swear words in all the wrong places. And I never even considered that those things were options. And the cartoon triggered me like absolutely like, oh my God, that's horrible. Why would they even suggest such a thing? And yeah, I didn't even realize that like you could swear so badly. Wait, there's really? Where, how do I get a hold of that, Robert? That's because one of the hardest things that I'm going to have to do when it comes to learning a different language is apparently Chinese splits the vowels into four. So it's not just abacada. You have like you just your ah becomes like all these whatevers. Like Mandy's tried to get me to say them. I can't hear a difference. I have no idea what she's talking about. It's like I'm being toyed with and it drives me insane. And like getting at least past that part before actually doing a class would totally make sense. Like I could, that would be, yep. Yeah. Have you ever like seen some of the videos for like Thailand where, well, I guess, okay, so Chinese has that kong 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 one, but there's Thailand has a whole bunch of that where the the words all sound exactly the same. Like I don't get why would you do that? Yeah, that's not fair. At least at least it's not is it Welsh or Scottish? One of those. Something over there. Those guys have words that it's like pack a lunch, man. It's just what the heck? But there's some things in Hokkien that sounds um cooler than the Chinese. Like I notice like when Mandy orders like coffee and tea at the coffee shop, if she does it in Hokkien, it just sounds better than Mandarin. It just well, yeah. So it is. It's the Welsh. Yeah. Like I said, I couldn't remember which one it is, but I know that there's one over there that just some of the words just there's like a I think it's a bridge. Is it? Okay, I tried looking up longest words and it just got really stupid over here. I have no idea what the. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Apparently, there's now longer words. Um, but yes, that was the one. Bravo, I got it. Yeah, but they have a whole boatload of words where it's like that, where there's like extra G's and extra whatever. It's like, oh my god. It's like no, it looks like a cat just walked across your keyboard. That's what it looks like. Nice. Mandy typed it in as I was saying it. We're all saying it. There we go. There we go. Oh. Yeah, so members are going to have to tune in to the live streams, which have I even shown you guys? Is this the right? There it is. There's next week's schedule. I'm off on Tuesday and Wednesday. The rest of the days we'll have some kind of streaming. Um, I haven't been doing like the 5 and 6 hour ones here lately. I've kind of cut it down because a lot of the stuff I do is a little bit eh. So yeah. What the heck? What? Can you imagine if you had to try to fit that on the envelope when you're like putting down your the address where you're, all the envelopes would be huge. That would be ridiculous. You have to look for the turnstile. Yeah, you can't be bothered. I'm from America. We just write down 3 letters. USA. Like when chanting for our teams, we just use that as well. USA. It's just so versatile. Not very creative. Yeah. Yeah. Which apparently that was okay. So when I was growing up, it was 4 letters. So Michigan was MICH. And then somewhere along the lines, there was a convention thing where they decided to make it all 2 letters, which turns out to be a whole lot harder than one would imagine. Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of them have like used the same basic letters. So yeah. Yeah, it's still kind of like I still want to do right. I still when like if I was addressing something to somebody back home, um, I inherently want to go to the MICH. It's just that's was the way. Mind you, you guys use abbreviations way more than Americans. Okay, wait, I can't. We make our highways and stuff with numbers, which makes things really easy, like I 75, which is Interstate 75. Numbers that are odd go north and south, and even numbers go east and west. It's relatively easy. But you guys have the PIE and all these, like everything is, and nobody ever uses what the full actual names to any of these things are. You guys just rip them off like everybody should just know what that is, and they just use it all the damn time. Which, yeah, that just gets kind of weird all the time. And America is totally, if you want to see acronyms, just check out anything NASA ever does. Like those guys go way out of their way to have every stupid ship, every whatever out there is like, oh my God. Yeah, no, there is logic to it. Yes. So yeah, I don't know if that helps much if you're ever over there, but yeah, there is some logic to it. And then the three numbered ones. So like there's I-75, right? But then you may hit a stretch where there's 275. So 275 is a junction off of 75. Like it's a bypass to get around a city because 75 going straight through the heart of Detroit is bedlam at like rush hour. So 275 kind of circumvents the city and makes it so that way you don't have to mess with it. So the three numbered ones are, yeah, like a bypass or, something like that. Yeah, see, it's so confusing that you put in the wrong letters and it didn't even get noticed. Like that's how messed up it is over here. And honestly, I think the system of the even and odd thing makes so much more sense. It's so like once you basically know that, navigating, long journeys or whatever in America become super easy. Mind you, Singapore's small, so you really don't have to worry about that much of anything. And over here, it's so small, people get confused, like which direction it is for like to Pangal from Ishun because they know it via trains versus knowing it via like how the bird flies. Yeah. Well, a lot of America's roads don't make a whole lot of sense. There was a lot of it happening back when there was horses and whatever, and things weren't didn't make a whole lot of sense. They weren't well planned out in advance. The major freeways all came much later. Heck, my dad um, helped with a lot of that kind of stuff. The company that he worked for helped build some of those freeways because they worked the big bulldozers and the road graders and the earth movers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I come from a time long before the whole Google Map stuff. We used to have in America there was a the automobile American Automobile Association known as AAA, and they, if you had your insurance from them, you could go into a AAA office and tell them, "Hey, I'm gonna go from where we lived. I grew up in just south of Pontiac, Bloomfield. I'm going from Bloomfield and I want to take a vacation. We're going to drive to Florida. We're going to go to Tampa and Orlando to Disney World and stuff." And they would give you what they called a triptych, which I'm not sure how these things come about, like if they just have the pages, how they get loaded, but a triptych would be kind of like imagine like a notepad where you flip the pages, and the top page would be where you're starting from, and then you'd go down and follow the map, and it would kind of mark what you were doing, and then you flip the page up, and like when you hit the bottom, you flip the page up, and then you're at the top of the next one, and you could follow the whole way there. So crazy kid in the back seat, here, try this, tell me what street we'll come to next. And so I learned maps by playing with the triptych. And yeah, kept me busy, kept me watching for signs. Yeah, I always imagine that one of the reasons why the roads here aren't gridded and why it's always turning is because the island is so small. If all the roads were like New York City, that at some point you could be high enough in one of the buildings and you would just see straight down the street all the way to the other side of the island. So like putting in all the twists and turns and putting the buildings the way it is kind of makes the island look bigger. Yeah, water catchment thing, that's something that I don't understand why there isn't a bit more of that kind of stuff going on in America. I mean, I know that like there's areas where um water for like say California and where it gets caught and how it gets kind of piped around or whatever is a thing. But the way that like Singapore does it seems so smart. I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know. It gets weird. Like they wanted to like get some of the water from the Great Lakes to go west for a long time. Um, but then everybody always is like, nope, that's not happening. I don't know. There was a period in America where people upstream would divert a bunch of the water sources from like the beginnings of a river for their own needs, for their own cattle, for their own whatever, and then everybody downstream was suddenly, SOL. And so like there's a lot of America where there are still strong, strong laws about what you can and cannot do with the water. Yeah, see that's what Mandy just said about the keeping the heavy road off. So I can tell you from experience going to work, if there was an accident on the freeway, we would jump off and run the parallel roads, and that was the thing. Yeah, everybody would circumvent all of the ERP things. Streaming wars, right? Okay, this is this one, so this goes that way. Yeah, so you'll see a post, say like on Facebook or whatever social media, where somebody's talking about putting big barrels um, onto the rain spouts of their house and collecting all that water and being able to use it for their gardens and using it for whatever else. And that's all fine and good in the places where there's fair amounts of rain, which like Michigan typically gets pretty good amount of rain, so it's not a problem. Plus, most everything drains into the bigger rivers and stuff. So you have like all the Great Lakes and all that stuff. So they really don't care. Um, but if you do that out west where it's relatively dry and stuff, yeah, you can not only get fined, I think you can even go to jail. Like they don't play around with that stuff. That's huge no-nos. And then you get these people, I was going to use a harsher word there. Get these people who are like, that's my freedoms you're taking away, and that, you're infringing on my rights and whatever else, and they just kind of lose their mind and they want the freedom to do whatever they want, um, without thinking about what that does to the rest of the environment around them and the other people and everything else. And those are the people who are trying to, they want to make the government, and this is not my word, this is theirs. They want to make the government small enough that you can strangle it with your bare hands. Um, and it's that, but I wanted to do something attitude without the regards to what that does to anybody else. Um, that really, it's just, it's such an American thing. mind you, I knew a Singaporean who started to fall into this kind of thinkings, and they wanted different restrictions in California lifted so that way there could be building more homes and making it bigger and bigger. I'm like, where are they going to get the water for those people? Like, they don't have water for lawns and they don't have water for whatever. And you can't, there's a reason why you can't just build anything that you want, like, say, a golf course in the desert. Um, so yeah, it's, anyway, sorry. Who's going? Oh, my new craft's leaving. Good night, my new craft. Have a good night. So yeah, this Singaporean listening to some of those alternative news things didn't get that the nature of the government is to make sure that the people are taken care of, in the states or whatever. And as far as they're concerned, if you've got money, you should be able to build what you want. And if it causes a problem or whatever, the people with the most money should be able to, you know, come out on top, and everybody else, well, too bad. And I could never understand that way of thinking. It just does not, because that's one of the things about Singapore that I love is it seems that everybody's needs are considered when they're making the rules for anything. They don't make it so that like the wealthiest will get super wealthy and the rest can all, starve. It's it's all based to make it a nice place for everyone. And I love that. I love that about Singapore. And I wish America would take notes and make improvements and make America more like Singapore. Is it fascism? I don't think so. It's, how would you describe it, honey?
Hmm.
Wait, are you talking about America or are you talking about Singapore being fascist? I don't think Singapore is fascist. It's, there was a guy in government who I don't even know that he took much in the way of money or whatever, but he got held to standards because he used his position for his own personal gains, and the government is holding him accountable. And I don't know if he'll go to jail or whatever, but he lost his job. You know, there were consequences for the actions, which, I mean, if you take a look at Trump, maybe he will get consequences for his actions. It certainly takes a heck of a lot longer. Um, it's just the rules here seem to be fair across the board to everybody. Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's America for sure. Yeah, that's that's America. If I've got money, I should be able to do what I want. There was down, I want to say it was Texas. I'm pretty sure it was Texas. Um, dude with cattle letting his cattle roam around on federal land so that way they could go out there and graze and whatever. And at the end of the day, when the bills come, that, hey, you were out there using our land for your cows, um, dude armored up and got the whole public involved and started crying that, it's not fair that they would charge him, that the land was just out there anyways and they're just cows and why should he have to pay? And like the rules shouldn't apply to him because, he's just a farmer and trying to make ends meet. And they actually got the idiot channels to kind of cover it as if this guy was being done wrong. Like I just, and the fact that he armored up and like got the guns and got whatever ready, to face off with the government. The fact that the government just didn't come in there and, you know, they because the news cameras were there, the government didn't want to look like, they're just big bullies and whatever and have like a whole thing like what happened with Waco or whatever on their hands. But at the same time, they kind of it was so bad. I don't know. I just don't get how those people get away with so much. There was a case, again, Texas. Um, a company was hoarding stuff beyond the legal, um, like how much you can store of this stuff. It was like fertilizers or whatever. Um, it was like there were rules from like the FDA or whatever that say you can't have too much of this stuff, particularly in an area of residence. And this place had like a school nearby and an old folks home nearby and stuff. So like they're totally like in the heart of residential, you know, small town, whatever. And they had a ton of this fertilizer stuff, and when it exploded so hard that it registered as an earthquake, right? Took out like a huge space. Nobody went to jail, nobody got fined, nobody was held accountable. And that just wouldn't happen here in Singapore because first off, over here there would be surprise inspections. If you say that you are a lumber company and they come strolling in and see that you hoarded up a whole bunch of fertilizers, somebody's going to be held accountable. Somebody's in trouble. Your company is now going to face financial consequences for just lying about what kind of stuff is going on in your space. In America, they've made it so that way that the agencies that should inspect barely have time to do regular inspections. In fact, it might take them several years to get around to each business once. So these companies just do whatever without having to worry about somebody showing up. And that just seems weird to me. Like that. And like I worked catering for a while. They would call us up and say that we're going to be out there in 2 weeks to come and inspect your catering company. So for the next 2 weeks, we cleaned and bleached and made everything all nice and whatever. Like you're never going to have see like the companies at their worst and like how we would get when it wasn't like going to be inspected. It doesn't like the things in America is just don't make sense. And if and I apologize to any Americans that are watching this who suddenly like lose faith in the idea that their food industry, like where they're going to pick up their next lunch or dinner or whatever, that might not be such a great place. Um, I hate to be the one to bring that to you, and I feel like I might have just like giving away that there's no Santa Claus, but it's true. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's true. It's not so good in the States. I know that even like the UK and stuff have it much better. In fact, the UK's got like all kinds of rules about things that you put into food and things that you put into the drinks, and that's why like America brands are completely different when you go overseas. Which again, it's like if you know that you are held to a higher standard somewhere else, why not make it this that higher standard for your people too? I mean, that would sort of make sense to me. I don't know. Just oh wait, I think I may have made a mistake. Wait, how is that? Oh, I'm yep. It's, I did boo boos. Darn it. But didn't didn't Britain keep some of that same stuff with the foods? Maybe it is just a EU thing. I don't know. Yeah, U.S. food, man, is yeah. Kevin will in the after party be pouring himself some. I think we're gonna have some teachers tonight.
Not Chinese teachers.
It's oh, it's Scottish. It's Scotch. But like I know like Germany has like the beer purity laws, right? You're only allowed what um water, hops, barley, and yeast. That's it. That's the four things that can be in beer. Nothing more. That seems cool. I'm kind of America does not have any of those kind of rules. Hell, Americans don't even know that Budweiser is a lager. I had a fight with my mother-in-law back when I was married in the US over the whole thing and told her that she's like that's not lager, that's a beer. And I'm like, "No, it's a lager. That beer is red." And she said, "No, it's not." And then we argued. And then I embarrassed her in front of the cable man because I told her that it was probably just an ID 10T error. And she's like, "Yeah, probably," when I was actually talking about her. And the cable guy fucking, he like turned his face. And he had, oh, yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Proud moment. Ex-wife didn't get the insult either. Just me and the cable guy just having a moment. I have no idea. I have no idea. There's so much weird stuff. I don't know. All right. So everything that I kind of got used to in the rows up here, so I can kind of explain why this went wrong. Everything that I kind of got used to was that the white came down and it kind of joins and it splits and it does whatever. But at this point, this part comes way down and then the spiral happens up in here. So that's kind of where we started off way earlier on. And I have to kind of go over like what is happening each time now. So yeah, it's just getting a little bit more complicated and a little bit more something. I don't know. It's crazy. But I'm glad I'm catching any of the errors before it gets too far along. I mean, some of it is kind of easy in the sense that at least it looks wrong pretty easy and pretty early on. So that's good. It's a really pretty pattern. It really is. I just wish like I was a little bit more familiar with it. It came just a little bit more natural. I'm sure by the time we get to, because a lot of the other patterns that we're doing have some of these elements in it. I suspect in time it'll come a little bit more natural to me, but it may be a bumpy road to get there. And so now that I've had the experience of like this part, I know that when it comes to the long row, which this one is going to be the long row, to make sure to bring the dark color along uh, right behind it, and then I won't have that problem. So I'm already like problem solving how to avoid the same things um, to make that actually work. Yeah, so I guess the why I can do this is in my head I'm working out the easiest points to it all, like just making little rules in my head. I'll show you here in a second, like as we're kind of going into this thing, like what the rule is and how that works. So this red here comes down and goes to just before this, because this point here at the bottom of this S thing is going to split and then go into the spirals like we did earlier. So, but this one goes past the middle. And mind you, there's a few rules. I guess I could have mentioned this earlier. There's a few rules that are kind of in my mind that I've already kind of come across when it comes to this pattern, and that it, by knowing the rules, um, it helps me to avoid issues. So we have three colors here. We have this light pink, we have this bright pink, and we have the darker red. Now this light pink here, this is coming down for the long row. This light pink never crosses the bright pink. It always, that always bounces it back in. So this one comes down, goes over the light, no problem. Goes over the dark, no problem. It gets to that bright pink, and it has to send that back inwards. And that's where all these diamonds are coming from. And that's why I haven't had any problems with these things. It always changes on that one. Now this is the one where I got confused last time because I thought this light came out. When it's the long row, I have to follow that with the dark one to where the light one changed directions. And that's the beauty of a really good pattern, is when you can recognize the designer's rules like that, and then it becomes sort of easy. You don't have to think too much about what's going on. As long as you just follow by the rules, the pattern develops, everything goes. There are bad patterns out there where nothing makes any sense. See, again, so this light coming down, light over light, no problem. Light over dark, no problem. Light to the brighter pink, it bounces. Every time. It's like I don't even have to think about it. It just is every single time. Now, if I could just find the rules for which way the spirals spin, that would probably help make this a whole lot easier. Now, if I really wanted to make this more of a challenge, I would try to bring it down much, much further each time by like bringing out over here and coming down and just trying to concentrate on one area all at once. And that would probably save me some time in the sense that I would be spending less time picking it up and turning it. However, it would make it more difficult, where by doing smaller sections, smaller rows going across, I can figure out what's going on and stick to a simple set of whatever without having to give it too much thought. Everything kind of is doing the same things and easy peasy. Taking on bigger swatches, that would definitely make this more difficult. I don't think on whole though, I don't think this whole bag is going to actually take us all that long overall. It's it's a relatively small bag. It's 96 strings. Um, it's got challenge, but it's not too crazy. There's nothing weird going on here. Mind you, this whole pattern is just based on a portion of a more complex pattern. Uh, Apparently, the guys that do it don't like looking at a pattern at all. They do it all out of memory, all out of their head, which, kudos to them for that. I mean, for sure, I've done some very complicated patterns that I have completely memorized because I messed with them long enough, or I came up with it in the first place and I know why I put in all of the different elements where they are. Um, so that is kind of is what it is. Like if you design a pattern very specifically to try to achieve certain effects, there's a chance that when things kind of go one direction or the other because you know there was a reason for it. You made a rule for a thing. It's the following somebody's pattern that you don't understand that will always be harder. Always. It's the following somebody's pattern. Let's see again. Light pink coming to the bright pink. And because of how that like bounces that, I kind of actually see a bit here now how this row is the one that kind of dead ends right here. Thank you. Yes. Actually, Rara, there is one other reason why using my patterns I think actually works really nicely, and that is you can see the bracelet design in the pattern. I don't know why the other ones are done in a way where it's kind of blown outwards and it doesn't look like the end result, but I think that comes across in my patterns as well, that you can look at it and you can see, oh, this is making a diamond. Oh, this is going to come around the diamond. Like you can actually see where you are at the time of the knots without marking anything off without anything else. You can see the bigger picture. And I think that makes a huge difference. Because even just trying to make my patterns by looking at theirs, like when I look down at their string layout, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, you can't see where a thing is happening, like whether it's, the small points or whatever else. It's much harder to recognize a shape or a thing going on in those other designs. And that, yeah, I don't enjoy that at all. Wait, was it you that made the bracelet like mine? This one? Because yeah, that turned out awesome. And yeah, there is something about not having directions in the pattern that is sort of I could see where it would be liberating, that oh, this is a turn, it's going to have to do the thing. Everything else is sort of like what makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's a good looking bracelet. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna guess maybe you saw the making the pattern and stuff. So like the original pattern, there was it was really different. It was the original pattern to this. It came to the point and then it broke up and goes on to do the thing again. And like I thought, that's kind of cool, but just this segment of it is is really the fascinating part, and trying to get it to repeat, that might not work out so great. So then trying to turn it into something, different and focus on the one part that I really liked, that made sense. And yeah, I love how it turned out. Hey, John. Wow, long time no see. Yeah, it's sort of, I don't know if it's really the wave one. It was based on uh it was based on this bracelet that came from Indonesia. I use it for a bookmark because I don't want to wear it. Um, it's polyester and it feels horrible. It's it's just gritty. I can't even describe. It's like it would be like trying to wear some sandpaper or something almost. I don't know. I don't like it. So it's a very pretty, fairly expensive bookmark. Yeah, actually, he wanted a photo of me wearing it because he wanted to be able to say that he made a bracelet so whatever that even, AKAAWOL would buy it. You know, apparently I'm semi revered in the culture there. Um, and I told him I can't wear this thing. It feels awful. It's not cotton. And he was like, "Wait, what?" Like they didn't him and his buddy didn't really realize that using cotton would make a difference, and that they're not, you know, they hadn't really even considered anything else. This has just been what they used. And so it kind of went into conversations about the fact that I won't wear the bracelet, because it's just so uncomfortable, and how much more I prefer the natural feel of cotton versus, synthetic. And so, yeah, even if he's watching, it's not like I said something that I haven't said to his face. I didn't hide anything from him. I didn't, you know, I mean, still makes lovely work, and kudos for the craftsmanship and the small details and all that. That's cool and all. I just don't like the material he uses. And I'm sure he probably looks at my stuff and is like, "Look at how chunky that is. That's so weird." His bracelets are so big and thick. Even like when he uses the single strand, it's still, you know, it's so much bigger than using actual thread. But the reason they don't want to use thread, or cotton thread, is because when you have the single strands of cotton, like this is embroidery floss, this is 6 ply, and then I double that, so I have like 12 bits of thread going along at once. Um, he's using four or less actual pieces of thread. Um, so if you were trying to do that with regular cotton and you are pulling your strings really tight, you could definitely snap it. And so with the polyester, it's less likely to snap. And so that's their rationality. Like that's why they are doing it, is because it makes sense in the smaller whatever. Um, Bigger knots go faster, guys. Honestly, doubling up your string like this takes up a lot more space. You can get a lot more done. You can get things built sooner. It's going to be plenty strong, make all kinds of cool stuff. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, it's polyester just feels horrible. Yeah, so okay, so polyester is basically it's man-made. And so being man-made, you could potentially build other various characteristics with it, like the satiny feel of some strings could be a factor that you could have with a synthetic. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about the thread that they're using, or how grippy it is or anything like that. I just know that the feel of this is really rough. It's really, but again, the work, the craftsmanship is nice. So, um, so yes, I tried the sparkly thread that I picked up in Thailand, and it turns out it is too slick to use on its own. Um, going to be doing some experiments here soon to see what other stuff I can create with it. But it does not work for just doing bracelets and stuff, which is really unfortunate because it has a sort of a I don't know how to describe it. It's not, if you slide your fingers down it, it's bumpy. It's got a funny texture to it, and that's why I thought that I was actually going to be able to use it. Um, but yeah, it's still just too slick. When you pull your knot, you can end up flipping the knots above it because they're not, you know, and you have to like tie them a little bit um, looser to kind of keep things from getting. It just gets really weird. It's yeah, it just doesn't work. Really. What? You got my curiosity. What would they call that in the stitching community? Nice. And now I'm picturing the dude, the pretty boy from the show that Mandy was watching. What was the Netflix one that you were watching where the pretty boy was the devil and he was helping people solve murder mystery stuffs?
My demon.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you picture him now with like shiny, like the colors that you just did a kumi out of?
Do I have to?
Like, yeah, just the moment of talking about it probably made an image come to mind that, yeah, yeah.
I kind of have it right here, though.
These kids grew up with like with like glitter vampires. I'm sure they'll be fine. Yeah, the camera just doesn't do it justice. The way that the light plays with that string is absolutely stunning. Like I really wanted bracelets out of that stuff because it's so gorgeous. So I'm gonna guess that shiny stuff is like crazy priced where you're at. Am I correct? Because it wasn't that bad in Thailand. Like, what did we did the math? It was like 30 cents or less a skein. No, it was less than that, wasn't it? 20 cents?
20, I think.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I really do enjoy looking for embroidery floss while traveling. The the cotton stuff that we got in Thailand, the first time was so different. Like I got super excited. I've got yet a different kind. I'm not sure what this stuff is. Haven't tried using it yet, so probably break into that relatively soon as well. You can kind of tell, like this area down here is it's picking up speed a bit as I'm coming around. We're just doing like a, I don't know how you would describe this, the smaller area that we're doing. I can't really call it a section because, obviously I could go much further down and still be a section. But yeah, so apart from this pattern being like slightly based off of a completely different pattern, um, I think I think when I was kind of creating this and like finding an element that I liked and then mirroring it and building it together and stuff, I think that art of finding an element that you find interesting and turning it into its own creation, I I really think that's one of the skills that I most want to be able to teach. That if you like the bracelet that we were talking about here, having a segment that is nice and then turning that into the focal point or the whatever, being able to just see an element in a design and just manipulating it and turning it into your own thing. I think there's really something there, and I really hope that that's what comes across, not just the whole, hey, I saw a pattern you make and I'm going to make that, because I like that. That it's maybe you see something in this or you see something wherever, and that you can make it your own as a result of the things that I show, I think that would be awesome. I think that would be, what I'd hope to achieve the most. Mind you, it does please me greatly that people see patterns that I made and, things that I've changed, and that they delight in that and they make it for themselves and stuff. I think that's very, very cool. And I hope that you guys enjoy the graph paper and stuff. I have all that stuff over on the website where, you can try to build your own patterns, or you can alter ones, or you can, use it to maybe better understand a pattern that you're trying to work on, that maybe it's a little harder to read when it comes from one of the other websites. So yeah, or getting it centered, and maybe you want that one part of it or whatever in the middle, and you want to figure that all out, you know. Kind of almost, I think we kind of almost made it around the whole thing with this part here. I don't know. I kind of wanted this to end in a nice way that would be good for, getting some photographs, but I don't think we're going to finish this whole row here tonight. I definitely see that there's a possibility that you could do some other interesting things with this pattern. Um, Maybe I'll explore that in a future video. We'll see. Oh no, it looks like maybe, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so kind of maybe only halfway around. So this is kind of the side we got versus the side we didn't. So yeah, a lot of progress here tonight. I'm genuinely pleased with how far we've gotten. I didn't really have expectations, to be honest. I don't know. So yeah. 350, holy. Wow. Yeah, we were like 20 cents a piece in Thailand. If I had known, I'd have probably picked you up a whole bunch and sent it your way. Wow. Wow. That's insane. All right, guys. Again, this is the schedule for the streams that go on. These are the YouTube member streams. So basically, you go down next to the subscribe button. There's a join. You join. You get to hang out with me during the week while I'm making videos. Obviously, if I'm doing a pattern video, I can't really talk to you while I'm doing it. But if I'm actually tying the knots and doing the make videos, I certainly can. So there's the schedule for this week. Back again next week to do even more with this. And yeah, so before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members who make all of this stuff possible. um, the cost of string and everything else. Even though I'm getting a pretty good deal on it, it's still something. So yeah, I do definitely need the help. Even with a monetized channel, I don't make that much, and their contributions really do make all this stuff really work. So thank you very much, guys. Like I said, back again next week. Hopefully we get a bunch more done. I don't I don't know how far down this goes, but I don't think it's so far that this is actually going to take too long. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, have a good one. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.